without a funnel or a system, you are solely relying on motivation to run your business. And motivation will always come and go, which is really dangerous to rely on as the driving force behind your client acquisition and retention strategies. Hello and welcome back to the Beauty Industry Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Sammy Kennedy, also joined by Ellie today from the Beauty Business Society. And today we're diving into part 3 of our CEO series, what the smartest beauty CEOs are doing to stay ahead in 2026. Now, I'll be blunt, this is one of the biggest blind spots I see across the industry. Beauty business owners are pouring their time and energy into social media. They're showing up every day, posting, engaging, doing all the things, but there's no actual strategy behind it. They don't have a marketing funnel. There's no client journey that's consistent, no system to turn that visibility into booked out revenue. And so the result of that we're seeing is there's a lot of burnout or overwhelm, very inconsistent bookings, missed profits, and a constant feeling of being on just to keep the business alive. And worse still, I see business owners falling into the trap of thinking, maybe I'll make more money if I just create a course or launch a coaching offer or sell a digital product. But then they run into the exact same problem. Because if you don't have a marketing funnel, something that moves people from awareness to action, you're going to keep finding yourself in the exact same trap no matter what you're selling. So in this episode, Ellie and I are going to unpack the exact marketing funnel you need to stop relying on solely hustling on social media and start building a system that attracts high-value clients, converts them with ease, and positions your business as the premium go-to in your niche. This is the missing link between marketing hard and marketing smart. But before we get started, Ellie, what is your personal update for this week?
All right. Wow, I have just come back from my last midwife appointment. So I'm 13 days out from giving birth and he is fully engaged and ready to go. Like head is down, ready to go, which I don't know if I'm ready. I am ready, like I want him out, but then I'm like, there's still so much stuff that needs to be done. It is exciting. She was like, for any of the mums listening to the podcast, you'll know all of this terminology. You might not know, Sammy, but the midwife was like, are you having any Braxton Hicks? And I was like, nah, not that I think. Like I'm super chill and calm about it. Nah, not that I think. And I'm laying there and they're checking the heartbeat and doing all that jazz. And she's like, yeah, you are. And I was like, yeah, I am. She's like, yeah, you are. I was like, all right, well, I've got podcast recordings to do and a couple more meetings. So like we've got at least 48 hours. But apart from that, I am ready to go. Baby's ready to come and we're just taking the days slow. What about you?
Honestly, I cannot believe how close you are to giving birth. Like for anyone listening, Ellie and I are actually pumping out 3 episodes this week just so we can get everything covered before this baby comes out. In terms of my personal update, there's so much to actually update on that I feel like I need to spread this across the 3 episodes we're recording. But in short, Beauty Industry Leaders podcast hit 10K downloads last week, which by the time this episode airs, it's probably actually like a month from when it actually happened. Like that's what I was thinking. As these episodes are coming out, I'm like, oh, we're about to hit 10K, but then on social media, we already hit 10K. So at the current time of recording, it is 9:20 a.m. on July the 22nd, and we are at 10,500 downloads. And it's so crazy to actually think how much impact that we've been making, because when I looked at all the stats, we have reached 75 countries and territories across the world.
That's crazy.
And then 561 cities in total. So our most popular is Perth, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, and then we've got some in Auckland, Townsville. I've been noticing that our views in America have gone up. Like in total, we've had 1,515 downloads in the US. And then Australia's obviously been the biggest since we're based here. So that's 7,653. So it's really cool to see it all happening. And when we hit 10K, I was sitting there going, we should do something to celebrate. But Ellie's popping out this baby. And I also kind of sat there and I was like, will anyone even want to come? Like, it's so
Come to
interesting. Like just to celebrate. So anyways, I put up this story and I said, you know, I'm thinking of doing this dinner. Let me know if you'd be interested. And I put a poll up and, you know, an hour in, no one has voted on this poll. And I'm just like, do I delete this? This is so embarrassing. And 2 days later, we have 20 or so people coming. We've got a exclusive dinner that I booked out at Shui, I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's like this Japanese Asian fusion place in Subiaco. And we've got like VIP lanyards for each guest with their name and their business name and the Beauty Industry Leaders Retreat. We've got gift bags. So Celine from Brow Drive is literally supplying something. We've got Jade from Lavilash. We also have Sarah from Vor. Like, it's so cool because my guests that have been on the podcast plus my listeners and my clients are all coming together. And this celebration isn't actually about me. Funnily enough, like when I was sitting here, I was like, I'm not celebrating me doing this. It's actually creating a space for everyone to come together. Because like when I started in the industry, I never forget, like literally traumatized Ellie. I'd just done my lash training and someone put up a Facebook post saying, how long do I have to wait to get my lashes wet? And I'd literally just learned this the day before. I was like, okay, you have to wait 24 hours because at the time that was the glue that was available. That was what we were getting taught. This other lady in the industry had a very established lash salon and she just replied to my comment saying, you know nothing about lashes, like you shouldn't even be advising this, like it's all completely wrong. And she shut me down hard and I never forget the narrative from that was women in the industry do not want to support you or, you know, they want to criticize you and they want to tear you down in public especially. So I was really scared to make friends. And then doing the podcast, in the early stages, it was just me talking to essentially a screen. So I'm not really being able to see people's reactions. I'm not really able to gauge if people are actually enjoying the conversations. I'm sitting here saying, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. No one's leaving a review. And I'm just like, what the hell am I doing? And so to host things like a retreat or to host things like a dinner, there's obviously this level where I'm like, oh my gosh, like what if that lady is actually a representation of the whole industry, which she's not. And I know that. And just like, I went, you know what, stuff it. Like, don't do this for me. Do it for the type of person I was back then who needed this. And so I've got people who are beauty salon owners. I've got people who are hairdressers. I've got people who are skin therapists, like just all these different people from the industry coming together. And I was like, this isn't about beauty industry leaders. This is about creating the space for leaders to come together. And I just completely had this like full mindset shift of like what we're creating. It's never been a popularity contest or it's never been like, oh my gosh, I'm right, you're wrong. It was actually about how do we connect people who wanted to grow together? And so the podcast, where it's headed, what we're doing, the retreat, like this dinner, everything's all happening. I'm just like, wow, like it didn't feel like it was going anywhere. Like for so long, it felt like it wasn't going anywhere. And I'm just like, why am I pouring thousands into this and no one is really here? But it was like, you have to be the person that fucking creates it. And you have to be okay if no one shows up and you just have to keep going. And then the people will come.
And that's what they say when they're talking about having skin in the game.
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
I want you to come. I'll just virtually have you on FaceTime. You'll probably be pushing out this baby and like Luke will be holding the thing. I'll be like, hi,
Ellie. What date did you set it? Have you set the date?
So it was actually going to be the 9th of August, but then we realised that it's too close to Expo and I actually have like Blaze, one of my profitable pricing clients, she's coming all the way from Bunbury and I was like, I do not want people like this to just be like completely stressed out. So we've done it for the 30th of August. So this is the first time in my life where I'm like really open to receiving help because now that I've had this whole mindset shift, I'm like, who do I get involved? Like, who do I do this? And this chick said to me, hey, do you need help? Like, she's from corporate and she's transitioning into beauty. And she's like, I've got a contact for balloons. I've got a contact for getting these lanyards printed. I was like, thank you. Her name's also Sam. She's from Saja Aesthetics. Like, honestly, incredible. And then I've got Sarah, who was a guest on the podcast, and she's been my hairdresser long term. And she's like, I help you with branding shoot. I help you with this. I help you with that. And I'm like, wow. I used to think, and I've said this to you, Ellie, like the beauty industry is so bitchy and people are out to get you and it's not really a nice, empowering environment. But I actually have to sit there and say, because of this podcast and what we're creating and who we are, I'm actually finding that we are attracting the best people in this industry, and I'm really grateful. Yeah, exactly. So thank you so much for you, Ellie, being here, and thank you for the people who listen. Like, if you're listening to this episode, if you're constantly tuning in every Monday and you're an OG, like, I want to be able to bring this to you. It's just going to take some time and some finances. That's all. So please be patient, hang in there. We will get there. We're in our planning era for 2026. I think a tour will be due, both for the podcast and then also some events, but we just got to plan it and make it happen and stop just thinking about it and just bite the bullet and do it. Hey.
We do.
So let's get into
start.
the episode.
Let's start with the basics. All right. So today we're going to chat obviously about marketing funnels. And my first question for you, Sammy, is why do so many beauty business owners either avoid a marketing funnel or attempt it but get it completely wrong?
I actually just realized as you're asking that question that some people are listening to this going, what the hell is a funnel? They're probably thinking it's like one of those little kitchen tools. And if you've never heard of a funnel, I want you to think of it as essentially something that guides your potential customers from like just discovering you for the very first time to building know, like, and trust. And what I mean by that is like they know who you are, they know what you do, they know what makes you different, they like your approach, they like the results that you've gotten, and they trust that you have consistently achieved results, or they trust your method, or they trust the results they've seen and the experiences that other clients have had with you. And then that is what essentially gets them to book or buy from you. And so when we look at marketing funnels versus social media marketing is like one part of the picture, right? You know, you're so zoomed in and you're just leveraging like literally the social media audience you have. But there's other parts of your marketing funnel, like your website and email marketing and actually calling people up on the phone. Like there's so many different parts that all go into this one system that so many, especially beauty business owners, they focus only on social media, and that can actually be really dangerous, not just from the perspective of you're not nurturing that whole client journey, but like if your social media gets shut down, you lose everything. And without having any emails, mobile numbers, and like solely relying on social media, you actually are quite vulnerable to having to lose everything and start from the ground up. Or at that stage, you probably would just quit and cry, like maybe for a moment, but it's actually really, it's a real thing that can happen. And a lot of people think it won't happen to them until it does. And I've had more than 5 clients, I think now, that have actually had this happen to them and had to restart. And it's becoming especially more prevalent with all of the bots, so that there's AI bots, there are fake spamming, like people who are your enemies might go and send all these spam followers to your account and then your account gets shut down. Like you would be surprised at some of the crazy shit people will do to their competitors. And I'm hoping that people listening to this would never do that and that never happens to them. But I have seen it happen to a couple of my friends outside of the beauty industry in the world of like coaching, let's say. So like I was saying, most beauty business owners, they only focus on Instagram, but they're missing all the other touch points that convert into paying clients. So what we want to do is start thinking about the whole customer journey from start to finish and what that actually looks like in terms of how we communicate, how we contact, where are we sending them, what information are we giving them at what stages.
Yeah, they're really good answers. And how you're obtaining that information as well. Like just having followers on social media is, like you said, if it's gone, it's gone. You need to have their emails and their contact details. So, what do you think is the biggest mistake that these beauty business owners are making when they're trying to grow without a funnel in place?
I feel like we've said this a few times, but without a funnel or a system, you are solely relying on motivation to run your business. And motivation will always come and go, which is really dangerous to rely on as the driving force behind your client acquisition and retention strategies. So if you're always relying on motivation as the driver of whether you post on social media or whether you send out a marketing campaign through emails or like whatever you do, if you're only going to do it when you're motivated, then you got to hope that you're going to be motivated 100% of the time. And most people aren't. And it comes down to discipline and strategy for you to get the best results. And I think when we look at the gym, it's such a classic example of people who go, oh, I don't feel like it today, so I'm not going to do it. And then what happens is they build this habit and they become consistent in being inconsistent. And so the long-term impact of that is they don't get great results and they sit there and they'll blame every other thing when it really comes down to them. And so if you're not able to show up consistently, you need to make sure that you have a system in place that can do it for you. And like we've spoken about this plenty of times, like if you can't do your marketing, then do you use AI to help automate some of those things? Do you get a virtual assistant? Do you hire a marketing person on your team? Like there's so many different options and routes you can go down, but you have to be realistic with yourself that you can't do it all yourself, and that if you don't have a system in place, there'll be inconsistencies in your business that will then lead to poor results when it comes to your marketing, inconsistent cash flow, inconsistent client retention, and that becomes really stressful, as we know. So I see people who get really stressed out when marketing is not like working. Like let's say you've got a full team, right? And you've just realized no one in the team is booked for the next 2 weeks because, you know, it's been a busy period. You've laid back off your marketing. You've just been like servicing all these customers. And now you go, oh shit, what do we do? So in these situations, I have had clients who, before they've come to me, they've been at their last dollars in their bank account and they put $2,000 into Facebook ads for 1 week, or they go, okay, I'm going to go pay for all this PR, or I'm going to pay for this social media marketing agency. And as you know, Ellie, it's literally like pouring into a bucket with all these holes in it. Like if you don't have that marketing funnel set up, then all you do is put more fuel on the fire and it just creates more and more problems for you. So what I've seen specifically, and this is what I teach in Booked, Backed and In Demand and with a lot of my one-on-one clients, is people don't even have their Instagram accounts optimized. Like they don't have a link in bio or the book now button set up. And if they do, they might have 10 links instead of just 3. Or you go into the booking system and the booking system does not make any sense for someone who's booking for the first time. They're seeing all these words, they're seeing all these different prices, add-ons, and they get so overwhelmed that they never book. And so it doesn't matter if we pour more money into getting you more traffic. If you don't have that funnel set up and it's not optimized, then you waste thousands of dollars. And so the other problem that comes from like after you've acquired these customers, if you don't have a good funnel following all the way through, there won't be follow-ups. Clients don't rebook. You're sitting there trying to send out this "we miss you" 20% off marketing campaign that no one responds to, and you just feel so defeated. Like it's not about getting more visibility all the time. Sometimes it's actually about learning how to optimize and convert the visibility you already have.
Yes. You said something recently that stuck with me, and that was without a funnel, we're relying on motivation instead of systems. Let's unpack that.
Like I was saying before, like motivation will always fluctuate. Like a funnel gives you consistent lead flow and it also nurtures your clients, even when you're not on. So that means less burnout, better time management, and higher quality clients who already see your value before they book.
Yes. And so can we walk us through what a high converting client journey actually looks like from start to finish?
Absolutely. So I'm going to do this for both salon owners and then I'm going to do it for educators, trainers, coaches, and consultants because that's who I work with. So for salon owners, a really good activity that you want to do is essentially map out every single step someone would take as if they were coming across you for the very first time. And this is exactly how I do my audits. So I will go onto a client's Instagram, I'll check it out, see what their bio reads, I'll look through their links, I'll look through their post, where they're post directing me to, I'll click on their booking site, I'll see how is their booking site set up, what happens if I book an appointment, do I get confirmation emails? Like there's a whole flow of events that happen. Exactly. And so what we want to do is map out from start to finish, what does that look like? So your marketing funnel is not just one social media post. It's essentially your whole client journey and all the different touch points. So for salon owners, it might be an Instagram story goes up, there's a post, a reel, an ad, there's something that is essentially a piece of content that then has a call to action. And that call to action could either direct them to have a conversation in the DMs or it could direct them to the link in bio. Now, personally, I have found that having conversations actually leads to higher conversions. If you say link in bio, a lot of people find that's too much effort to actually go and onto your profile, click the link in bio, then go onto your website and then click another button and then go to your booking system. Like the more effort it takes, the easier it is for people to give up. So having
and when you say conversation in the DM, that's not an automated conversation, is it?
Well, it depends on how you've set it up because if you have a real conversation, obviously the chance of conversion is a lot higher. But also if you've set up your automations really well to the point where it's asking pre-qualifying questions and it's getting them to say, yes, that's me. Yes, this is what I'm struggling. Yes, yes, yes. And they can pick from certain options, then you can actually find that that works really well. So I use that with my coaching now, especially with freebies, guides, lead magnets. And you know what's really interesting is like when I didn't do it and I was doing it all manually, I would get so frustrated because no one would say please, no one would say thank you, and people would just expect everything. And so I actually just automated it and now I don't even think anything about it. I'm like, you know what? Here's all the questions. Here's the things. They get it. But when it comes to like more high ticket and I need to pre-qualify whether there may be someone who is suitable for this service or they're ready or they're actually committed or what have they tried in the past, that's when it's really good to do things manually, especially as beauty salon owners. So like if someone needs to book in for, let's say, an LED or nails or brows, it's kind of like an instant service or like not instant service, but there's a lot less pre-qualifying that you would need. Whereas if it was like skin, I might set up an automation or have a conversation where it's like, what have you tried in the past? What type of skin do you have? What is the thing that you would like to work on the most? And so you can set up all these pre-automated responses in ManyChat, let's say. And then as it's giving all of these responses, you can actually set up for each response what the next part of the conversation says based on what they click. Okay, real talk. If you're a beauty business owner and you're still doing everything yourself, from posting on socials to replying to DMs on the toilet, creating reels at 11 p.m. in bed, trying to keep your books full, lead a team, and somehow still show up as a decent partner, friend, or parent, this is for you. I created Booked, Banked, and In Demand because I was that burnt out business owner once. Always working in the business, never having enough time to actually work on it. I've now taught the strategies inside this training to over 300 salon owners who have gone on to triple their revenue, become the go-to name in the area, and finally get off the income roller coaster, burnout, and chasing clients. It's also the system I used to build a multi-six-figure coaching business and scale a 7-figure bowling alley in 7 months. Because once you know how to attract clients, convert leads, and create consistent cash flow in your business, it works anywhere. Inside Booked, Banked and In Demand, you'll learn how to attract dream clients on autopilot with the content that consistently fills your calendar. Lock in 90% plus rebooking rates so your income isn't riding a roller coaster every single week, and delegate the back end to a VA so you can step out of burnout mode, reclaim your time, and focus on doing more of what you actually enjoy, whether that's growing your business or taking a damn holiday that you know you deserve. So if you're tired of doing it all and ready to get more clients, make more money, and finally have more time freedom again, this is your sign. Click the link in the show notes and let Booked, Banked and In Demand be the last training you'll ever need. So they can take a little bit of time to build out, but the benefit of having the automation is that if you're someone who's so busy, you can never keep on top of your DMs, those people get an instant reply back. And I experienced this when I was in Vietnam. I wanted to book in for this head spa, and they had the best automated messages that I'd seen. It was just like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was a question, and then you just respond back with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then your answers. And then they grab that information, they put it into their booking system, and they can say yes, confirm, no, and then it's literally done. Whereas I would have preferred to have that over going back and forth with 5 different messages and then wait for a reply, and then, oh, they're busy, they have a client, now they've got to do this. So sometimes automation can be an absolute lifesaver because it's giving people an instant response. But in saying that, they have to be set up well. Otherwise, if they're not set up well, it's just going to lose people straight away because they're like, well, this is shit. I actually want to just talk to a human. So It comes down to the quality, 100%. I love where that was going. So after the conversation in the DMs, we are essentially going to end up sending them a link anyways, or if you're old school, you might give them a phone call. And then what you're doing is directing them to the booking system. So the booking system is a huge one. If you do not have your booking system set up in a way that's easy for your clients to actually understand what they're actually booking in for, if it's not easy, if they don't get it, they're not going to book. And I actually had this with skin a lot. Like, I look at menus with 80 plus services on when clients come to me to do profitable pricing, and I'm like, bro, get rid of it. Like, stop. Or like, I'm like, as I'm going through this, I'm like, I'm actually really sorry, but we're going to have to cut this off because, you know, this is going to take us 6 hours. And like, do clients even book in for these services? I'm like, oh no, I probably have 1 in the last year. I'm like, get rid of it. Like, you have data in your booking system that shows you what your most popular services are. You do not need 20 facials. I would much prefer to see you known for 3 or 5 max high-performing facials that are consistently booked than having 20 facials and like literally all of them get 1 booking each. Like, it's just too confusing, too many ideal clients, too much mixed marketing messaging. Like, it's so overwhelming for the client. So,
not to mention the team.
Oh yeah,
Like,
the poor
from my
team, they have to
perspective,
deliver
the
it.
team, yeah, explain the difference between all of them, why they're beneficial, know the protocols of each individual one, the contraindications. Like, yeah, it's a lot.
And like, when we look back in the day, maybe it was better to be the one-stop shop. But in 2025, 2026, it is not. People want to go to a specialist. The only time where you see businesses do really well and they are a one-stop shop, like they've got different services, is when they have individual team members who do actually specialize in 1 or 2 services. So you've just got to consider a few things when you set up your booking system, when you're doing your marketing. Like, is it simple for people to actually book in with you? Like, is it simple for someone who's never, ever had a skin service, never, ever had their lashes and brows done, never booked some body sculpting services, whatever it is it easy for them to understand what they're actually booking in for? Because if they can't understand it, then no one's booking in. So a great way for you to actually set up your booking system is by concern, not by all your different treatment things. Like, if someone says, okay, I'm struggling with acne, or I'm struggling with brows, well, not struggling with brows, but I want to work on my brows. Like, you want to see all of that in one section, not lashes and brows and then some waxings here, but then waxings in another section too. Like, you know, you want to keep it all streamlined and have clear descriptions on who is this service best for. So you're actually pre-qualifying people before they book in for that service. Oh, that's for me. Or, nah, that doesn't sound right. And then what are the benefits that they will get out of it? No one gives a fuck about your machine. I am telling you, they don't actually give a crap about what products you're using because 90% of people have no idea what it means anyways. And so they want to know, who is it for? What is it going to help me with? Is it going to fix my problem? Yes or no? And if it will, they're happy to pay for it. But if you spend all this time
really
trying to
think
tell them,
that?
I do. Like when I ask people who I am friends with who have no idea about beauty, they sit there and they're like, I have no idea what I'm booking in for. I just get it
I
done.
think that we have a certain amount of people that have no concept. And yes, they're just going to trust completely in their therapist. But I definitely think there is way more people now out there that are thinking that they're professionals. So they'll pick a product, they'll read the ingredients because they read it on Mecca or, all that type of thing. And they're
TikTok.
like, oh, this. So I feel, I don't know, I'm kind of 50-50 with you there because I think some people are pretty picky on what they want on their skin, or at least they've educated themselves to some point, not from a professional perspective, but from some point to be like, well, what's this going to do for me? They want to find the value in the product that they're going to purchase or take home. I don't know. I feel like because everyone is showcasing their machines and what they can do, there is a certain amount of people that are going to be very intrigued to be like, well, how is this more beneficial than that? But I know we're going off topic here. I just found it really interesting that yeah.
When you talk to people who aren't in the skin realm, I think they don't have much of an understanding like between the different products. And that's when you educate them. But I think what my message for this is, do not sit there and constantly focus on promoting features and completely missing out the benefits. Because if you're sitting there trying to sell your machine and all the little bits and bobs it has on it, that needs to directly relate to a benefit to the customer. So like,
The outcome.
yes, you can have your machine in there. Yes, you can market the brand of product, but if you don't link what the benefit is of that, then there's no point you saying that. Like, it's just like you trying to sell a car and all these features. Like, what is the benefit of that? Like, people need to link benefits to the features and not solely focus on the features. Otherwise, the customer's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's so true. Like, I get where you're
Yes.
coming from, 100% agree. And I think, yeah, both of us, what we need to actually reframe is probably the messaging that is features linked with benefits, not solely just features, because features, they don't have any meaning without their benefit, right?
Yes.
The other thing that you need to think about when you've got your booking system set up is, do you have follow-up messages, emails, text messages? Like, what are you doing to actually nurture that person prior to their appointment? Because, we've had it with bowling, for example. Our booking system sucks, and I'm actually currently building out a new system, funnily enough. But it'll they book, they get one email, they don't get any reminders. We can't change it. It's like this 1990s software that just never gets updated. It's so crap. It's like essentially Word in the 90s. It's a nightmare. And so for me, I'm going, I want a system that when someone books, they get a confirmation reminder or confirmation email. And then, a week out, they get a reminder. And then the day before or 2 hours before, they get a reminder. And that's just because people are so busy. They're so distracted. They're getting sent all these reels. They get emails. Have to pick up kids. They have to do everything. It's just like, I don't really care if I'm sending out multiple reminders, because for me, if you just have a confirmation email and there's no reminders, then what happens to you as a business owner? People forget to show up. And that can cost way more than maybe, oh, I've got a few emails from this person versus they don't show up. You lose money. And then you're just getting so disheartened. What kind of messages or emails are you recommending your clients to send out in the lead up?
There's a few that I would recommend. One being ensuring that they don't have any contraindications prior to their appointment, or the likes of ensuring that they've stopped using their retinol prior to their appointment. Whatever the service is that they're having, that the lead up prior, whether that be 2 weeks, that they are on top of it. Otherwise, they're going to come to their appointment. You're going to ask them, have you had any sun exposure, vitamin A, waxing, blah, blah, blah. And then like, oh, yeah, actually I did. And then you've lost an hour of treatment.
100%.
That's probably
And
one of the
also,
main
like,
ones.
I know parking can be a huge one. If the salon or the
Christmas
studio
time.
is in an awkward place, if it's on like a main road, like where do you park if it's, busy, and if people are coming to their appointment on the dot
Yeah.
and then they're going, I can't find parking, then they're 10 minutes, 15 minutes late, impacts everyone, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's a big one, especially Christmas time, I think.
So it's like you need to be getting someone excited about the fact that they're booked in, like nurture them, give them something to look forward to, give them information so that they're coming into this appointment feeling supported and confident before they've even had the service. Like that's going to make their experience from the get-go feel a lot better than if they just, okay, your booking's here, all right, pay your deposit, now you're in here for a treatment, quick, get in the room, out, see ya, never hear from them again. So after you've had the appointment, it's really important for you to have some type of follow-up system in place, whether that's you send them a message yourself manually, or if you have a automation in your booking system or your marketing software that follows up with them. Like for me, I'm thinking about, okay, new treatment within the first 24 hours. How are they going? Are they happy? And that can also negate issues. If something's gone wrong, you can bring them back in.
And further from that, if you do have a front of house or a clinic coordinator, I advise all of my clients to have them just, and this has been the point of difference between something that's automated. If you don't, the automation system is amazing. But if you have the time and you have the manpower, physically call that client. Like that is customer service to the next level. Hey, and it might not be the therapist who performed the treatment, but it's a matter of saying, Mia wanted me to call on her behalf. She's super busy today, but she's been thinking of you. How is that new product? How's your skin responding? Or how was the treatment? Or that is next level. If you can't do your if automations, you've got the manpower, do that. If not, your automations, at least something is you're touching base with them.
100% agree. I really find that manual, like sending a voice note, sending a text message that isn't automated, will get a much further or higher response rate than any automation. And it does take that little bit more time, but that maybe 30 seconds out of your day to send that message versus not sending one at all could be the difference between a client staying with you for 5+ years versus one appointment.
Yeah.
I also think it's really important for you to understand your customer journey to a T, and this is understanding each service, as I'm sure you'd agree. Like skin might be one type of appointment. So there might be skin needling. Okay, when are they going to have this point where they're like, oh my gosh, my skin's all breaking out, I'm freaking out? Are you reaching out to them while they're going through that to reassure them? Cosmetic tattoo is a huge one. Their eyebrows are peeling, their lips are peeling, they are hating life, and they're like, oh my gosh, it looks so bad. And so if you know consistently that's at about day 4, then like, have you got the time to reach out to them? If not, have you got an automation that reaches out? And then that just reassures them, that gives them the confidence, they feel supported. And then when they're seeing incredible results, when they're at the peak, that is when you ask for the review. That is when you ask for the referral. Would any of your other friends benefit from having this or be interested? So it's not just about always rebooking. It's also being really strategic about when do you ask for that review? When do you ask for that referral? When do you get them in for the next appointment? So that's an overview of the salon journey. I'm just going to run through what educators, trainers, coaches, and consultants would be looking at. And obviously it's going to be different, but one that's worked really well for me is like having Instagram stories, posts, ads, and things like that have a keyword that the person has to comment. And then that directs a conversation in the DMs where then I'm having a conversation with them asking pre-qualifying questions. And what I mean by pre-qualifying questions is, what have you tried in the past? What kind of results are you looking to achieve? What's currently not working for you? How committed are you to actually making a change? Because for me, having those conversations in the DMs immediately helps me realize, is this person serious or are they just wasting time? Are they price shopping or are they investing? Are they someone who has had a bad experience in the past and has a lot of negative beliefs, and I actually need to sit there and work through, okay, what did happen in the past? How can we make it better? How do I reassure them or handle those objections? So you need to have these conversations. And then when you realize, okay, is this the right thing for them or am I actually offering them something else? Then you send them to, okay, what is it that they need to purchase or what is it that they need to sign up to? So that will be on a landing page. They put their details in there and then you will get their information in your database, which then you can trigger automations. You've got a nurture email sequence, and then that might be 5 emails explaining like who you are, what you do, who you help, how you help them, social proof of results you've been able to achieve, storytelling, and then an invitation of how do we work together or what they could potentially purchase that could help them. And then when they click on that, that needs to lead them to a sales page with all the information about your offer, how it works, who it's for, what type of results. Like it's just reinforcing the value and the inclusions that they will be getting and the transformations. Then they've got to go to a checkout page. They have to purchase. And then after they purchase, you need to make sure that you've got touch points there to check in with them. You know, you've also got to think about the onboarding side of things. How are you bringing them into your business? Are you giving them a course login? Are you setting them up on a Slack channel? Are you getting them on WhatsApp? Like, are you giving them a workbook? Like, there's so many different things that you need to think about in that onboarding so that within the first week, they feel like they have been supported, they've made the right investment, and they feel like, wow, this is so valuable. Because if they don't feel that within the first week, oh, sorry, I just forgot, I'll send it to you tomorrow when I got some time, like they're not going to feel like they are a priority. They're going to start questioning if they made the right investment. They're going to start going, wow, this isn't really professional at all. And so once you've got the onboarding stuff sent out, then you've got to think about the touch points. When are you checking in? Especially when it comes to training or coaching, like you know that they're going to be on this massive high. They're super excited. And then they start doing something that's out of their comfort zone and their confidence levels drop. They get imposter syndrome. You know, maybe they've done your training and now they got to get models in and they're like, I can't get models in. Like, I don't know how, or I had this model and it went wrong. Like, what advice, what support are you giving them to help them move through that and continue getting great results? So you've got to map it out. And then when they are on a high, they get that result, you ask for the review, you ask for the referral. And if you have other opportunities to upsell them, if you have the opportunity to continue working with them, like with Ellie, she might have clients who are contracted to her for 6 months. You don't wait until the last day of the 6 months and say, oh, we've finished. Do you want to keep going? Like, you ask them midway or nearing towards the end of their container and ask them if they would like to re-sign and continue working together, or if they don't want to do the same package, do they want to change to something else? Or if they don't want to re-sign at all, ask for feedback. What could you improve? What would have made it a yes for them? And you can continue to improve your business. And then lastly, this is what is always missed, is offboarding. People think, oh, okay, they don't want to work with me anymore. All right, that's it. They ghost them. You need to offboard people and make it a pleasant experience for them. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the investment. Here are some resources. And if you do a great offboarding, 9 times out of 10, when they need help again, they end up coming back to you versus someone else.
So it's not just about more bookings, right? It's about standing out and being seen as a premium person in our industry.
100%. And when you look at a good funnel, it doesn't just book clients. It positions you. It creates loyal advocates, diehard fans who will stay with you wherever you go. Like, it tells people that you're professional, you're high end, and you know what you're doing. It's one of the easiest ways for you to also justify higher pricing, because without changing anything about the actual treatment, the product, the service or offer, you're elevating that entire experience for that customer. Ellie, I'm actually super curious with your consulting business.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned about having a funnel in your business?
Oh my gosh. I remember when the word funnel first popped up, I could not wrap my head around it because I feel like it is huge. And there's so many different elements to funnels in different, like you've gone through the salons today and you've gone through the consultant versions of it. The salon one, like I would get to an extent, but then once obviously I've put in place the business that I've had, I was like, well, what does the funnel actually look like? And it took a lot for me to wrap my head around it and understand all the steps that I needed to take. But a funnel is definitely one of the first things I think you need to invest in. And that was why I suppose I got you straight off the bat. Not that we spoke about funneling straight away. There was so many different things, but you helping me build that out and look at that from the perspective that you've gone through today was really the reason why I started understanding it. And without the funnel, and it's always evolving, right, as well. I feel like your funnel's always
100%.
evolving. So just when you think like, oh yeah, I got this down pat, you're like, oh shit, I better put this in too. Or, now this is happening, I have to add this in. But it's I think it's one of the first things that you really need to implement in your business. And like you said, understand and know really well. And if you have a team, you really need to make sure the team understand that process really well as well, so that you're all on the same book.
The one thing I really admire about what you've been able to set up with your business in terms of funnels is that now that you have one set up, people are literally on a wait list waiting. And the clients that you have, they keep coming back. If you didn't have a good onboarding experience for those clients, like they wouldn't want to keep working with you. If you didn't get back to them in a prompt amount of time, then you're literally going to go, oh yeah, hey, I'll get back to you next week. And then they're like, I've actually found someone else. And so it's not necessarily always about social media marketing. It's about all the other touch points outside of that then make you the option that people want to choose.
And those areas that you don't know, because we're not social media managers, we're not website design people, we're not email blogging, or, that's not our forte. I think that it's really important that you source the right people to do those things really well. You know yours, you know what journey you want to take your customer on, but they then can also optimize that to the best capacity that they can do so for you if you're not equipped in that way, because I sure as hell was not. We know that firsthand. We know that.
And seriously, you look at people who own beauty salons, they actually do have all the different parts of the funnel, but they're not tied together nicely. So they have a booking system, but they don't use their social media to direct people to their booking system in a way that flows for the client. Or they have some automated emails and messages, but they haven't really thought about how that ties in with each specific service. They've just kind of like generalized it. So everyone has a funnel. It's just, have you optimized it or not? And I think that's why so many who are getting into the digital space, coaching, consulting, education, training, they are struggling more than anyone because they didn't have a solid funnel for their beauty salon. And now they're trying to take what they know from that and implement that into their education, training, coaching, or consulting business. But in the online space, you probably need to put in 10x the amount of work that you would in a beauty salon, because you don't have a physical shop front. You have to be front and center all the time on social media. And then you have to be following up. You have to be having all those different touch points because you don't actually have the opportunity to physically have that with other people.
Yes. So for someone listening who's thinking, yep, I need this, Sammy, what are we actually doing at the Beauty Industry Leaders Retreat to help them build out their funnel?
So at the retreat, we're not just talking about it, we're actually going to build it with you. So this is where your marketing finally starts working for you, not just adding to your to-do list. So we're going to build out a powerful profit-focused marketing strategy that attracts high-value clients, positions you as the trusted authority in your niche, and converts the attention that you're getting into action without burning you out. So together we're going to sharpen your messaging. We'll map out your full marketing funnel and build out a visibility plan that speaks directly to the clients you want and turns them into loyal bookings and long-term relationships. So we're going to show you how to leverage smart marketing systems and tools that save time, boost consistency, and grow your brand without losing that personal touch. So in terms of what we're covering while we do our workshops, we will do a funnel audit and optimization, which will be a really great activity for you to understand what are your customers experiencing before they even book in or start working with you. We'll look at, okay, what is your current traffic and brand awareness strategy? Like, obviously, you can't sell to no one. How are we growing your brand? How are we getting new eyeballs on there? How are we actually making sure that you stand out from everyone else because you have got the opportunity to show up in more places in different ways that attract people? Then we're also going to look at your marketing messaging, your marketing strategy, how you're actually building out that whole client journey as well. And then any AI integration, automation, smart delegation. So those are kind of all the components together. But on top of that, it's really having your client journey mapped out from start to finish with all the different touch points and systems and messaging in place. So think of it from start to finish. You finally will have a system. It's not just kind of guessing and hoping for the best. And the biggest thing is, for me, I wanted to get 2 guest experts in that would really help you nail this. And so I've got a conversion rate optimization specialist. Her name's Celeste, and she spent the last 12 years immersed in digital marketing, SEO, and web design. And if you look at her, she uses psychology, she uses design and user experience to guide customers to take action naturally. So she's brought these skills to some of Australia's biggest household names under the Suncorp Group, including Amy, INGO, Shannon's, APR, Bingle, helping digital journeys that drive millions in revenue. So what we're going to do is have Celeste come in and look at your current website, your funnels, how you're setting up that side of things so that it's actually optimized for the customer. And so obviously, Ellie and I, we have our experience, we have our expertise in our areas, but we're also bringing other people who have worked with even bigger brands to this retreat to give you the insider scoop on what you need to do to scale to the next level. And honestly, like, if you're not coming to the retreat, you're missing out because this is stuff that other people in the industry are not getting access to right now. Like, these guest experts are so epic, and I'm not undervaluing what we're delivering, but like, oh my gosh, the added value here in Vietnam coming and doing this, it's going to be amazing. So I hope to see you there.
All right, Sammy, this was so valuable. And if you're listening and feeling like this is the piece that you've been missing, I promise you're not alone. Most salon owners are doing way too much manually, and a funnel is the thing that finally lets you get your time back whilst still growing. We'll link everything in the show notes, including details about the retreat, and we'll see you in part 4, where we're talking about how to manage your money, cash flow, and profits like a true CEO. Until then, keep showing up as the leader you are and build the systems your future business needs.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Audience exclusive.